On to you Virgos out here. Hope y'all are having a great day. So you have the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and then you Virgos have the Three of Wands. So the reason why I had to take a pause out of this one is because you Virgos basically are in a situation where you're feeling what it is that you're feeling. A lot of you Virgos, right, you're in your bag. The Queen of Cups speaks to how you're being a lot more honest with yourself about who it is that you are and what it is that you really want. A lot of you Virgos know that, if you're going to spend your time with people, they have to like you. They have to appreciate you. They have to respect you, right? Obviously, you've been through so much. I'm seeing that a lot of you Virgos just can't be around anybody who's fake, right? The fake stuff, the fakery, the dysfunction, the giving you a hard time, for no reason. You don't want that. If a person gives you a hard time, a lot of you Virgos are exercising your options. You realize that you need to have an open mind. When someone tells you no, you don't have to be sulking. You don't have to be upset. And I'm not saying that you Virgos were doing that, but what I'm saying is that people who have a pretty complex tend to think that they are the inevitable, right? They're like Kang the Conqueror, right? They're a fixed point in time that no one can essentially run away from, because it's a fixed point in time. It will happen. There's no exceptions to that. It will happen. It has to happen. It will break the fabric of reality if it doesn't happen. And that's not the truth. Because a person who is going to be mean-spirited and dysfunctional and disrespectful to you, why would you Virgos decide to hang around that person, right? Especially if love is a very sore spot in our lives, right? We don't get, a lot of us Virgos and a lot of people, and see, this is the kind of story that I really want to tell people, but I never really got a chance to actually doing it. A lot of people really don't understand, obviously, what it's like to be a Virgo, because they're not one. Being a Virgo is very cold, because it could be warm and great, but we have to really make it great, right? No pun intended. We have to make it great. Because when we interact with other people, it's obtuse. And what I mean when I say it's obtuse, I mean that it's uneven. We will love somebody and the person will be like, "Oh, I don't know you." We'll be in a whole relationship with somebody on the low. And then out in public, right, when they get peer pressure from their so-called friends, "Oh, you hanging out with said Virgo?" No, they'll throw us up underneath the bus. And then now we're like, "I was just eating the cake last night. What you talking about?" Right? Like, now all of a sudden, now you don't know. And so a lot of us Virgos, we've developed the mentality from not only our lived experience, but also us upgrading our value. We don't have to sit here and take that nonsense. We don't have to take people's dysfunctions, right? When they introduce us, they better introduce us as wife, their husband, the person that they're taking seriously. If they don't do that, you're not going to force them to say that, but you're just not going to be with them, because a lot of you Virgos are not playing games. You're not playing around. I don't play around. I don't play games. But yet I'll still have people who are playing games themselves tell me that I'm not playing a game. And I'm just watching them look stupid, because that's the definition of not playing the game. I'm not even going to play even when you start up. And so because of the fact that us Virgos, we have that new mentality that we don't have to we don't have to hang around people. We are not in a position where we're forced to. The Knight of Swords, right, and the Eight of Swords represent a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are going to be very, what I mean when I say upset, I mean like they're going to be very surprised, taken back by the fact that us Virgos, we're moving not in a normal way. We are expected to take rejection harshly because a lot of people tend to bolster or overvalue themselves. It's an overvalue. And so what happens is because they overvalue themselves, they tend to have the mentality of um, I get a chance to make you feel terrible by telling you no, by rejecting you, by, if you Virgos are speaking to them, right, giving you a hard time, a needlessly hard time. Because truth be told, if a person isn't into you and they not into you, just all they have to do is all they needed to do is just tell you no and let you and set you free and have you going about your business. Not this long drawn out, like I said, around the world in 80 days. They have to make you feel hurt. They have to break your spirit. They have to make you feel down. It's not just about telling you no. They have to make you feel like you can't strive for anything in life because they need to break you. They need to break your spirit. They need to make you constantly second guess yourself because they're such in a high position and they're so amazing. How dare you even have the gall and the audacity and the unmitigated gall, I should say, to even approach them and speak to them and talk to them. Right? And this is where it is that they're upset because you Virgos, you're not running on that kind of time anymore. You don't care if it's a no or whatever, right? So it's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. And the Emperor, the Tower, and the King of Cups represents you Virgos. Y'all are in a very powerful position because the Emperor and the Tower and the King of Cups, all of these represent you or your situation. And it represents you Virgos being all right without needing to seek approval from others. There's a sense of you're all right. Other people may try to, right, break down your castle, right, break down your underwater Atlantis, right, because I'm using the Mermaid Tarot, and try to break it down. But that's not actually what's really happening in real life. What's really happening in real life is the Emperor. You're much more composed, much more relaxed. You Virgos have much more going on than just love. It's just that obviously people don't really know what's in other people's bags unless they are publicized, right? Like a celebrity, like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or like a, I don't know, a rich, like a Bill Gates or something like that. Like a person that we know is rich and been rich for years, right? But it's like, people shortchanging you and trying to make it seem like they're shortchanging you. The Tower just here represents their own delusion, their own ideology, right? Them telling you, some mean-spirited people telling you no, and they're going overboard with it, and then they're trying to make it seem like you deserved it or whatever, and you just don't. You don't. But they think that they're breaking your spirit, and that's not actually what's happening. What's happening here is that you're remaining sturdy. And I've talked about this before, that you have to become okay with being laughed at a little bit because, number one, you're going to become very brittle and easily broken if everything has to be super serious. You become sensitive. Like, and a lot of people don't really pay attention to that. They don't really pay attention to, they have to be okay with being goofed on a little bit because You even see it in movies when a person takes themselves too seriously. They end up they don't realize it, but they end up really making themselves look even more emotional than the ulterior, right? Than the alternate would have been. They just sucked it up and just took it, just been like, oh, okay, okay, I can kind of roll with the punches, right? I can kind of take a little bit of goofing on a little bit, just, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit, and just been able to be a little bit more fluid and stuff like this. And I'm not saying let it get to the point where it's extreme, because I just had that too, where I was talking to somebody, and they took it a couple of steps too far, and I had to let them know, like, all right, that's enough, you know what I'm saying, because it was like, it's like, and then at that point I just stopped talking to the person, because I was like, what is the strategy for this? And it's like, but if I still hang around this person is going to continue to press the boundaries, because they have this chip on their shoulder. And I'm like, look, I'm built for it. I'm built for confrontation. This person isn't really built for confrontation. I can see it, because they don't because the person doesn't really understand who when you are built for confrontation, you know who's built for confrontation. So it's like this person isn't really built for confrontation like that. So I was like, let me just ease up and just leave the person alone on some respectful type stuff. I was like, because if I get upset, this person is going to feel a certain kind of way and play a victim. So let me just get out of Dodge and just stay away from that. Now, why that's important in the first place is because of the King of Cups. You Virgos are able to be a lot more fluid than what people think or even give you credit for. They will, once again, the Tower, they will try to conflate it and lie and make it seem like you Virgos are upset and that you're holding back frustration because you got rejected, or people give you a hard time sometimes when you may have tried to get to know them. But that's not the truth, though. You Virgos are quite comfortable, right? The Knight of Wands and the Page of Swords represents, because I'm just seeing a lot of you Virgos are learning to understand that being upset like that for a rejection is not worth it. Even no matter how extreme it is. Not saying that you can't stand your ground and say, all right, you good, you good, you good, you good. All right, right. But I'm talking about it from a perspective of like, you're able to understand that it's not the end of the world. You're able to understand that, hey, if a person says no for whatever reason, right, then it is what it is, you know? Being able to take rejection or take no for an answer is one of the most powerful things in the world. And it's not about being weak. It's not about giving up. What it's about is that it's about understanding where and when is the fight. And what I mean by that is use your wisdom, right? And this is the thing a lot of people mistake me for. I'm not a punk. It's just that sometimes people will say that I give up too easy, because that's not true. What it is, and this is the kind of wisdom that I'm trying to give to you. If you Virgos don't already know, there's a difference between learning how to, because see, what a lot of people want is that a lot of people want friction. A lot of people want unnecessary problems, because when you ask, they want to kind of like give you a little bit of trouble a little bit, and then when you respect the boundary and you go, all right, then it's like, oh, you giving up. So you like it when people overstep your boundaries. But what about if a person respects your boundaries and they say, all right, because they have enough, they have their own. They're not in a desperation mode. They're gonna eat. They don't have to seek validation from you or anybody else, because they're gonna eat. That's the position that you Virgos are in. You don't have to seek validation. What happens? People will say that you're giving up too easily. But it's like, but what is the point of you Virgos walking up to somebody saying what's up, and then they telling you no, and then you walk off, and then they getting upset at the fact that you didn't want to look like a psycho stalker, right? Yes or no? If it's no, great. I'll get out of here. If it's a yes, okay then. Stop BSing. And then not only that too, but another element of it is that it creates unnecessary friction. And this is the misnomer and the misunderstanding that a lot of people don't really want to understand. And let me give y'all a game on that one. This too is the reason why it is I don't mess around with the cause and friction type of thing, because there's a way to create romantic tension without being a jerk. What a lot of people out here doing is that a lot of people are out here creating what a lot of people are out here doing, a lot of people are out here being a jerk. And what I mean by that is the hard to get me kind of thing, right? It's like, listen, what it looks like is the person's fighting against you the whole time, and you just need to essentially go speak to somebody else that are way more willing to allow you, because they're actually looking for something. Because let me say this, right, and I'm gonna start clarifying some of these cards, right? People who are seriously looking for people to actually date and get to know, they're not on this type of time where it's like, I gotta play hard to get. They're trying to actually put themselves out there and get to know people. That's the whole point. So the ideology of I gotta act like I'm super tough and put you on this goose chase, this wild, that's stupid. Because what happens if the person's like, all right, that's it. Okay, you told me no. Okay. What happens when the person is like, all right, you told me no, it is what it is. You just lost one, right? The person who does that just lost one, because that they didn't even have a chance to even get to know. Why? Because that's bad policy. You don't do that. That's not what you do. If you're legitimately looking for a person to get to know, you need to have an open mind. You need to, on both sides, regardless of whatever you into, you need to be cooperative. You don't tell somebody no and then expect them to not walk off. If they walk off, that's an L. That's an L. You just lost one. So let's clarify the Page of Swords. Like, people who are legitimately looking for a person, they are open-minded. If a person drops it, basically, if the offer drops into their lap, they're gonna be like, all right, for real? Yeah, I'll get to know you. Because that person legitimately wants to get to know somebody. They're not gonna be like, oh, you into me? No. Where you going? But you just told the person no, stupid. Where do you expect them to go? They have options. They have things to do with their time. They have a life. What you think someone has the time to be sniffing up behind you all day? The Star card, the Ten of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and then you have the Ace of Cups to clarify the Page of Swords. A lot of you Virgos are able to now call a lot of people's bluffs, because you understand that a lot of people are out here capping. And what I mean by that is they telling you no, they giving you a hard time, but they end up regretting the fact that they gave you a hard time. So why in the world were they doing it in the first place? And that's the stupidity in it. Because the thing is that the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups represents you have things to do. You have value to your life. Yes, you do. So that's pretty much it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to get the YouTube channel to over 100K. Y'all have been doing such a great job. Y'all have been, oh wow, y'all have been doing such a great job. Y'all have been doing such a great job. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. We're at 16,500 and change plus already. Y'all have been doing such an amazing job. Really appreciate it.